I'm going to try to have a little fun here. Let's see how it works out. I'm going to try the bubble method of dyeing papers with acrylic paint, with tea, and with watercolor paint. So here is my watercolor paint. Here is my acrylic paint. And here is the remnants of a leftover tea. And I just made a quick darker amount of it and let it steep for a while here. It's warm. And then I have a little bit of warm water here. And then as luck would have it, I have some extra Dawn dish detergent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these little containers and I'm going to put some dish detergent, some water, and some of my preferred dyeing agent in here. And then I'll be right back. Okay, I don't know if you can see the bubbles fall or not. I made a couple as I was filling it up. I figured maybe I would bring you along for this. I just put enough Dawn in here. I thought more would be better. More would be bubbly. Let me see if I turn the light on for you if that's any better. And then I'm going to take some of this first one, the watercolor, and I'm just going to go directly in here. And I want to put a good amount of that too. And then I'm going to go over to the acrylic paint. I'm going to use a good amount of that too. And now this is metallic. I haven't seen anyone do metallic before, so I'm actually really excited about that. And last but not least, I'm going to take some of my tea potion, and I'm going to use the most of that. I'm actually going to stick the tea bag in and see what happens, just to keep it in there, to keep it, I don't know if that's too much water. I'll just pour it all in. And then I'm going to pour, oops, that's why we have plastic now. All right, that's a lot of water. I didn't really want to use that much water, so let me clean up my little splash and I'll be right back. All right, so I cleaned up my water splash, turn on a better light for you, and I'm just going to grab one of my paintbrushes here, and I'm going to stir the solution. They don't look very bubbly right now. Well, this one does. The bubbles themselves don't look colored, and I've watched a couple different people do this. The last one I watched was 49 Dragonflies because I absolutely love Barbara. The metallic looks really weird. I'm not too sure about this experiment with the metallic, but we're just going to keep stirring it. I don't know if I mentioned my water is lukewarm. These were all supposed to be olive green, except for the tea. The tea itself was not olive green. The tea itself was a turmeric, rubiose, and cardamom. I don't know if that's how you say it. All right, so let me put you on hold real quick, take out this tea bag, and I'll be right back. All right, here comes the fun part. I'm going to try to blow bubbles, and I'll start with the metallic one, because that's the one I'm the most skeptical about. And again, this is Arteza Premium Pearl Olive Green. Let's see how the bubble process goes here. Okay, I have a good bubble head there. So I'm just going to take a white piece of paper and dab it into the bubbles and pull it up. All right, that is almost invisible. It looked really great, like hopping down from the other side. I could see lines form, but I'm not seeing any paint transfer. So I'm going to take that one over here. I'm going to try with the acrylic olive green Arteza. Oh, it's not acrylic. I'm sorry, it's watercolor. I'm going to give that a try. That's the fun part. All right, I'm just going to take the other opposite side of this plain paper and dab it. And again, I'm getting nothing. And last but not least, I'm going to try with my turmeric. And nothing. So I'm going to go back to the drawing board and add more solution. There's a little bit of yellow there, yellowish from the turmeric, but not a lot. Obviously, I have enough bubbles. It's just a matter of more color in here. So I will be right back. Okay, I'm not quite sure what to do to fix my turmeric. I might just try a brown acrylic paint or something. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to put some more olive green watercolor in here. I'm putting a lot. And then I'm going to put a bunch more olive green metallic in here, and that's a lot. And if that doesn't work, I'm not going to continue to dump paint into these, especially this one has a lot of water. I think I'll take water out of it and then try something else that has a little bit more properties that would be dyeing. At this point in time, I can see it just laying the metallic. Maybe that's why I've never seen anyone do metallic before, but I really thought that that would be a cool effect if I could get it to work. Maybe again, it's either less water or something else I can mix it with. Looks like pea soup. The other one really doesn't look like olive green at all. All right, I'm going to continue to stir for a little while, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I'm going to try to bubble them up again. Again, that looks extremely light. Taking a piece of white paper. And I don't see anything. I see my dirt marks from a previous project, but I see nothing. And then I'm going to go back to this one. Bubble it up. They look a little more seafoamy. And I'm going to try again. And it's a very light green, and it really just wants the seafoam edges. That's not really the look I'm going for. So I will come up with plan C when I come right back. Before I do that, I'm just curious to see what the content of my mixture is if I leave a piece of paper in. So I'm going to leave a piece of paper in my turmeric solution. I'm going to leave a piece of paper in my metallic solution. And I'm going to leave a piece of paper in my watercolor solution. I'm going to leave them in for a couple minutes, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so it's only been a few minutes, so I'm going to just pull my test strips out. So this is what the metallic looks like. This is what the watercolor looks like. And this is what the turmeric looks like. So they actually look good as a dyeing agent on paper, and they don't look like they're going to pan out so good for watercolor bubbles. So I'm going to abort mission on this particular approach, and instead I'm going to actually dye the papers using the solution. I'm tempted to move forward with the one, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'll try again another day. So earlier today, I tried the bubble method for kind of dyeing papers. It did not pan out, but I made several sample strips and dipped them into the solution, and I liked how that turned out. And I was just waiting out the snow so that I could do some snow removal. So it actually stopped snowing and the bubble method didn't work out. So what I want to do instead real quick is use my solution and kind of half dye, half dip some papers. So I have a bunch of papers over here and some envelopes. And I thought it would be really cool just to get some paper strips with this solution. So I really liked it when I dipped, but I'm just going to pour some of the solution over. This is metallic. And I know there's a lot more metallic on the bottom. Just going to let that sit in there. Looks like most of my metallic mixture is on the bottom. So I'm just going to pour that out in there. See how that has that on the bottom? I'm just going to swirl it around this page. And you can see I didn't mix it thoroughly. I'm going to try just one of these envelopes. I actually kind of like the idea to do the inside because that's the fun part with all the patterns. So I'm going to disassemble it real quick. And stick it in the solution. I didn't make a lot of solution because I was just planning on doing bubbles, but necessity is the mother of invention, and I hate to waste an art supply. So I'm just going to do this. And then maybe take a book page, press it down. Slather it up. I kind of want to blow the bubbles in it again while it's here. And I'm going to take another style of book page, a little darker. Press it down. All right, and I'm just going to leave them in this solution for a couple of minutes, and I'll be right back. Okay, it's literally been maybe 1 minute, but I'm very impatient, and I like the way that the test strips did when I pulled them out right away from the solution in the small. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a similar size piece of paper, and I'm going to pull the first one out. And see what happens. See if I can get it separated from his friends. Just going to let it drip dry a little. And I'm going to put it down over here. And then I'm going to take the second clear book page. And I'm just going to go right over top of that other one. Going to carefully pull this out. Let it drip. Maybe pull it to the side a little and put it over here. That one's going to look nice. And last but not least, I have my envelope, and I'm not going to use another envelope for that. So I'm just going to grab a spare magazine piece of paper. Although I know it's going to be a really cool pattern. So let me take this just lined piece of paper I ripped out of a composition notebook, and I'm going to carefully take this out. This one is very delicate and very shimmery. I'm going to plop that down. And then I forgot about my little piece of paper in there. So I'm going to grab another piece of scrap. And I'm going to pull it out. I like that there's globbies on this one. And I'm going to put it down. And I'll be right back because I want to pour this on some papers. All right, since I'm inside, maybe I'm not going to pour. I'm just going to crumble. So let me try a crumble pour. All the good stuff is at the bottom, for sure. Just gonna press that in there for now. See what happens when I just crumble these guys up in the solution. And then carefully unfurl them. And again, I'm just going to lay them on top of the paper before and let it dry. And then the paper before it. This one has bubbles, that's really exciting. And I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to carefully crumble this. Carefully, carefully. So maybe I will get my bubbles just in a different way. And this is already starting to rip. This is very thin composition paper. Okay. And then I'll crumble up some more off camera and I'll come back when it dries. All right, so before I go, I poured in the second olive green mixture with the watercolor paint. And I'm just gonna crumple some pages. Put them in the bubbles, composition pages, other pages. I'm going to do another envelope. Just going to stick him in there. Not going to be too worried about it. I'm going to roll these around. I like to get messy. What else do I have around here? Oh, I have some coloring pages. Some more coloring pages. All right, maybe one more. This is a super thick one, so I'm just gonna lift up these guys and slide him in there just regular. All right, I'm gonna futz with this for a little while. I'm gonna move what I already have done so that I have some clean area to lay them down, and I'll be right back. All right, I found a piece of cardboard that I was working on yesterday. So I'm just gonna use that to put them down on here. So this is ripping immediately. So I'm just gonna leave them juicy, pull them out of the solution as carefully as I can. And I'm just gonna lay them. I don't care if they go on top of each other or next to each other or what they do. That has plastic, so it actually has a bunch in it. That's okay. Again, I'm just laying them on top of each other. One of the benefits of this being a cold and snowy day is I do have the wood stove going downstairs, so it will absolutely help dry these guys fast and dry me when I come back in from doing the snow. But I can't believe it stopped. It was supposed to snow for a bit longer. Again, I am not complaining. I'm curious if these wind up looking like my tea dyed paper or if they wind up having bubbles or patterns of any type. So, all right, that's probably it for this solution. I might crumble some more spare papers I have lying around or some packing papers. I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to dry these and I'll come back when they are.